My name is Trisha, and this is my son Matthew. He's the fourth child. He was adopted while my ex-husband and I were stationed at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. He was diagnosed with autism at 4 years old and then had several more diagnoses after that. Seizures, bipolar, asthma, and a rare genetic disorder came after that. I came to know Dean from Floor Traders because Ben's Fund, which is with Feet of Washington, FEAT, Families for Effective Treatment of Autism. I read John and Tracy Schneider's story. Their son Ben is 16 and he has autism. John Schneider is the general manager of the Seahawks. He had been with the Washington Redskins and the Green Bay Packers and almost left those jobs. I researched him because of Ben's autism. It's significant for those people who don't live with a family who have a child with autism, and I read Tracy's feelings about, or people would call it a tragedy, I guess, when she would go into the grocery store and always had an escape plan because she never knew when Ben was going to have a rage. And that becomes a very common part of our experience, and it struck a chord. I understood. And so I applied for a grant through Ben's Fund. They give a $1,000 grant to families each month for non-medical things that improve their quality of life. And so I applied for Matt and I to have floors, solid surface flooring put down because carpeting is very difficult for his wheelchair. And we won. And I was so excited. But it is a limit of $1,000, which covered the flooring but not the install. So when I was speaking to Dean at Floor Traders and telling him, he asked who was going to install it, I told him I was going to have to store it because I didn't have the money for the install at the time. And it was just staggering because in that same moment, he said, I'm going to scholarship the flooring install. And he called an installer. The next thing you know, the amount of the scholarship had doubled or more than doubled with his generosity. Matthew also has asthma, so it's very difficult to keep the house clean enough for him despite my best efforts. So it will help in a multitude of ways. They're going to come in and rip out the old flooring. Dean was super helpful. He didn't just say, well, I'm going to scholarship this thing and you can get what you can get. He was just so generous in his spirit. He's also paying for all the transitions between the bedrooms and the flooring that's already here. There are good people out there. You don't have to be the GM of the Seahawks and have a kid with autism to be a decent human and want to help families. And so here we are today, sharing this with you, letting you know that there are really good businessmen out there. And this guy is one up. Excellent.
Perfect day.
So, a perfect day. Matt, look what happened while you were gone. Look at our floors.
Cool.
Isn't it cool? Look.
Yeah.
Look at how your wheelchair moves on this. So much better than carpet, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Look at that.
Yeah.
Do you like your floors, Matt?
Yes.
It was an incredible blessing because we wouldn't have been able to afford them forever. So thank you to Ben's Fund for that. And then the Floor Traders of Tacoma, Dean was just an amazing person to work with. I had no agenda that they'd be installed anytime soon because I couldn't afford it. It was smooth. They were empathetic to my need for them to be in and out without disrupting Matt. Because autistic people are often not good with transitions and changes. And so they scheduled around us to make it the easiest for him. And it was a fun reveal. He knew it was happening, and he writes me emails every day from school as part of his language arts program, and he wrote me yesterday, "Are the flooring man there?" So he was very excited about the idea that when he came back that they would be here.
Matt, what do you think about the floors?
Awesomely perfect.
How is that going to help you in your day-to-day life?
In my wheelchair.
Matt, he's able to walk a little bit within the house, but his gait is not very steady. And so he often is a fall hazard. And so because of the wobblies, right, Matt?
Yeah.
You have to be in a wheelchair. And so it's really important that he maintain the best optimum quality of life for him. And that includes him not being afraid of falling, which is something that he's been afraid of since he's been in a wheelchair. So ultimately, they're not just floors for us. They're much more than that. It gives Matt a quality of life and decreases his fears. And what better gift could you give to a person than to make them feel less fearful?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody. It was beyond generous. I'm not crying. They're happy tears.